If a site like that does not hold your attention or even create a oh my moment, you know what? You're watching the wrong dang material. You need to go and look at some, I don't know, what in the world? Those agate nodules are the size of that bowling ball, if not larger. Here on the Evolution, we have located a nodule bed that is producing agate nodules that look like we have water lining. We're going to be cutting some of these. We have just engulfed with malachite, very heavy greens, quartz, of course, crystals, and some of them are larger than a Brunswick bowling ball. My gosh. Stay tuned. This is awesome. So, we're not being quite as squirrely, ouch, as we normally are. But this is a little episode of Challis Beauties. So anyway, we're going to cut that nodule. And that is a nodule. That nodule is so heavy. It's so big. So all we can do is we'll nip the heel and we'll work it down. Maybe we'll cut a couple of them. So, and you hang in there. We're having fun. We're going to have fun, and we're going to have fun. Please subscribe. Channel's growing. Again, I thought it was just going to be mom and dad. Now that's a big, big nodule. So we're just going to take the heel off of her and have a little peek inside. And then maybe the goal is to actually have it's kind of a peanut shaped. So we'll try to get the biggest exposure that we can. So it's going to be pretty damn interesting. All right, you Clickmeisters, we're going to do that one next. By gosh, and hey, Click Monsters, Meisters, sit back and relax. Now I'm a little gun shy of this one because of these lower fractures down in the bottom plate when it was sitting in its casting bubble within the volcanic tuft. We've got these fractures. Hopefully they're superficial. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of cut it so we get the largest exposure. But I'm guessing that it's going to be a crystal bomb. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Well, I think we'll cut this one nice and simple. We'll just cut this little jewel right there. So let's go ahead and pluck him out of the pantry here. This will give us a little idea. Now you can see that was one of the smaller ones out there. And we've outgrown my vices. So this is going to get interesting to cut Castle Mountain's nodules. But that's the way I chose to cut this one. So we'll turn on the saw and we'll see what we get. Holy smokes. I am rarely short of words. But that is just absolutely beautiful. Castle Mountain. Look at that. It's got the chrysocolla, the malachites going into there. It's got emotions that I am lost of words. We'll take this outside. We'll look at it, fractureless that I can tell. Look at the brilliant fortifications. everything. Absolutely awesome. Where is that good old jewel right there? There she be. I think what we'll do, we'll trim off and true the bottom. Let's see what we've got inside that old big baby right there. Beautiful. Could be a quartz bomb. I don't think so. I think this one's gonna be good. Well, I've been having a hell of a time. You can see, wet. My God, my pants, muriatic acid. It's been rough tonight. But anyway, we're just cutting and sawing along. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to pick out a nice piece of Starry Night. Let me see here. Losing sunlight. In old Vincent van Gogh. We're going to cut this. It's broke. It's just a piece. You can see those fortifications. So we're going to pretend like we're going to get this ready to make a pendant. Now remember, I am still here being a rock star. And this right here is on Castle Rock. And let's see what the heck we got in here. It's a big son of a gun, I know that. Well, for my liking, it is not as nice as I would like to see. It's got a floating fortification in amongst the quartz. That's what I was afraid of. Because Castle Mountain basically will try to produce that, but too bad there's some damage in that floater fortification because he could actually have made that. So I have to say that that's not much of a star. But it was fun finding him anyway. The search is where it's at. Now, you know, on the evolution, especially when we're being squirrely, we like to play. So, you guess possibly which one this came from. This one seems to have a lot of malachite. It's got some fracturing, a bit chunk of matrix, large portion of quartz. Okay, we'll keep this. Like I said, some people like quartz, but I think the most pretty material is at the very bottom there. So we are, you see that the formations of malachite in it. It's pretty interesting. Kind of got a little bit of a brecciated look to it. And then you got the quartz on the top. And here's another sleeve. So it's like it continued on. You see, that's that great big green one that I had such expectations. But you can see it just seems to just continue on with the same characteristics. So next cut, if I cut one, would be back in here. See if we can get into something different. You never know what's trapped in them. But there is that one. So by God, the clickmeisters, monsters, meisters, all the above, I'm hoping I've got the people that are having a little soda pop, a little coffee, sitting there enjoying the Challis Beauties. Now you know that the Evolution Rock Hunters likes to play games. And so I'm kind of working to where we're going for maybe, since I got to do a little sneak peekaboo, my least favorites to some of my most favorites. So this one here was on Castle Mountain. And I chose to cut the bottom. This large nodule. Now, this one's starting to get just a pinch more interesting. The one thing that I do not care for is that fracture right there. Kind of stained into that, but we have basically some mossing, some water banding, a little bit of dendritic moss fortifications within quartz bed. And then here's the mother. And remember, this was picked up within feet. Oops. Within feet of the actual one that I just showed with the green. So you sit back and you look at that and you go, wow, the diversity. But quartz is there, and I was a little afraid of the quartz. So, but there that one is. And by God, hold the Challis Beauties, we're going to continue on a little further, so hang in there. Please subscribe. Please like. Now this happens to be one of the smaller ones. It ain't small, but it happens to be one of my favorites. Again, Castle Mountain. But look at this one. Read. Now for a surprise reveal. We have the one nodule right there that is coming from the proximity of Clay Ridge. If you watch Prospecting by Saw, Follow the Science, you'll hear some of the things that I talk about. Well, anyway, see what's in here. Well, no fractures. But I wouldn't write home about this one. It's what old Clay Ridge is famous for. She'll give you some solid ones with some clear chalcedonian, but basically relatively. And this one here we gathered on the first of the Western Treasures, the Hellhole. It was revealed, but let's go into it a little bit more in depth. Now, do you see the difference, what I'm telling you about, between Clay Ridge and that? Look how pretty. That really shows just how blue I do believe that azurite is coming out of that. There's the comparison. And here's old smiley ghost face. He should be famous. He's pretty neat. Look how neat he is. Good grief. So again, we'll go down here. Look at that. And then set them side by side so you can see the difference between ones you start wanting to write home about and the ones that just kind of, you wish it was something different. All right, click monsters, you still there? This one was found in the Western Treasures, the Challis Volcanics, rockhound's paradise. Paradise for the rockhounds. Anyway, we're going to cut this carmelian banded waterline, basically waterlined agate. And it is gorgeous. So, I'm going to go like this. I'm going to film this. Okay, oh, good. Are you still there? Anyway, this one right here was shown on, this came from the hellhole. And it is basically that one that had the real caramel colored calcidium with the water leveling. Well, if you take something away from it, basically you could say it would actually be really nice if it would have held a more pronounced waterline. And here's that. It still could be used, but it's not near as pretty as if it could actually have held that waterline. And the end of it all. Thanks for hanging in here. Hopefully you like it, because this is a contrarian channel. I can't wear a funny hat. I can't talk. No. I just have to do it my way. You're supposed to copy bigger channels. There's not an ounce of copy in my bones, so I can't do it. So, but anyway, this one is just a shard off of Vincent van Gogh, Starry Night. And we were just cutting it for some pendants. And as you can see, it just never, ever really disappoints. It's just always got some interest somewhere. Now, as far as for big ones, this is another one. Again, this one was picked up within 10 yards of the large green one. And let's see what this one looks like. Ha 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 ha. Me likey a lot. Look at how pretty that is. Hopefully this camera is gonna zero in on that and give you a nice look, because that is absolutely beautiful. I'll pick up the actual mother, the larger half. That has got everything going on with it. That's a mind blower. So you can see the diversity of what we're dealing with sometimes. It's so hard. Look at the diversity going around, sitting there. That is just awesome. It is really, truly awesome. See how close we can get. Remember that one there, this one, we're within 10 yards. I need to sit back. We'll give this one a little bit more respect here. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Ha! Anyway, kind of hot out here. Weather's changing, but hands down, that particular one right there, I just love to death. Love it, love it, love it. So, thank you so very much. We like doing this. You can see this big old pile right there. Here. Going back up. Hey, we have a little bit of a dud right there, but you know what? I'm more of a dud than it is. So, anyway, thank you so very much. Check out that video right there. And, holy Toledo. Look how beautiful this thing is. Look how beautiful it is. Absolutely mind-boggling beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful. Lots of words. I'm ecstatic. Castle Mountain. Look how beautiful that is. Fractureless. It's hard to get the footage that you really need. We'll go over to its sister. Again, the shadows are just killer. Look at that thing. Oh, I gotta do it.